what I've done is I've built out what I call my agentic chief of staff. And this is a combination of a set of Claude Code agents, rather, as well as an app that I'm building that I use on a day-to-day basis. So first, I'll kind of walk you through how I use Claude Code. And this is, by the way, in Cursor. You could do this in any IDE. I also, depending on what my task is, sometimes I will use Cursor and the Cursor agent. A lot of times if I'm like trying to start a project from scratch, I will install from Cursor. I will also sometimes use Codex, especially if it's like a complex type of task where I'm trying to understand content from our monorepo. And so, I basically am running out of terminal for a bunch of different tasks. And so what I've done is I've created a set of agents, and I'm kind of like constantly adding to those agents. So I'll just show you what like an agent looks like. And this was generated by Claude. And we'll go through like how to actually generate an agent. But this one is like understanding the priority of a calendar event and trying to decide if it is truly important. And so what I'll show you is like I actually was running this earlier today. And you're trying to decide, is this part of my priorities? And then trying to filter out noise, and then looking for different types of meetings that are very important. And then also really, like this is all generated by Claude, by the way. And then what I'm doing, so I ran this earlier today. Let's see. Hopefully it doesn't have anything too crazy in here. And what I think I looked at this before I got in here. And so what I did was first, like, I asked it earlier today. I ran it because it takes a little bit of time. I asked to look the last 2 weeks, and I said, "Can you analyze my calendar, like how I spent my time?" So analyze my calendar for the week. How did I spend my time? Where could I have been more effective at delegating? Right. So this is something that I do usually like once a week, but I also will run this once a day as well. And then first, it kind of gave me like, here are delegation opportunities. These are actually right. I ended up not attending this meeting because I needed to get ready for this podcast. Funny enough. This is a meeting that usually I do send one of my directs to, that is our growth lead. Like, this is spot on, right? This is a demo lab that we run called Alpha Arcade, and I usually don't end up attending that one. Merge Council is something that I have somebody on my direct team. So this is all like completely correct. And then it also identified like red flags, like where I'm like double and triple booked. It like said, hey, you're not like, you're context switching too much. I mean, this is correct, right? And this is something that I give to my EA, and I'm telling her, hey, like this is kind of what I'm seeing, and we'll start with this at the beginning of the week. And then, I also like to look forward at the following week and be like, hey, what can we do to improve things? And, a lot of it is like, what do you recommend I should cut for next week? I'm not sure I agree with everything in there, but a lot of this is like a first pass, and it's organizing it in a way that, makes a ton of sense to me. And so, and this was just from basically running the agent and giving it that one line.
That's cool. So you've got one of your chief of staff agents. What else are you building around the chief of staff space?
Yeah. So I do the same thing in email. So it has complete access to my email triage. And this is spot on. So basically I asked it to triage my email. And what it does is it gets rid of a lot of the junk in my inbox first, but it will first go through and run it. It runs a triage first, and then I tell it what to archive. So I don't want like calendar notifications or marketing or systems messages. Then it like pins the messages that are kept. And then it will actually create drafts for a few people that it thinks I need to actually send emails to, right? I don't want it sending emails on my behalf. That's not the point. But I do think that there are like opportunities where it's like an email that's been sitting in my inbox and sees me. It kind of is actually like watching the behavior in my inbox.
I hope you enjoyed that short clip. You can check out the full episode here.